Most modern gardeners believe they need constant watering, drip irrigation, and perfectly leveled raised beds to grow food efficiently. But here's the problem. Watering too often or relying on uniform soil beds can actually weaken plants, leach nutrients, and reduce yields. I've seen this firsthand in both backyard gardens and raised beds. Plants look healthy at first, but over the season, fruit production stalls, leaves yellow, and roots never develop fully. The surprising truth is that a garden system used over 800 years ago can outperform modern beds and irrigation systems, and it does it without any watering once established. It's illegal in most places today because it violates modern land use codes, but the principle itself is simple and profoundly effective. Before experimenting with any old-school techniques, I always check my soil to know exactly what I'm dealing with. One tool I use constantly is the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter, digital plant temperature soil moisture test, and pH meter and sunlight intensity. It measures moisture, soil pH temperature, and sunlight intensity in seconds. Most gardeners rely on guesswork, but that often leads to overwatering, nutrient mismanagement, or planting in unsuitable spots. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It's a small investment that prevents major mistakes and ensures your garden experiments succeed. The biggest mistake gardeners make is thinking more water automatically equals healthier plants. In reality, frequent watering washes away nutrients and depletes microbial life in the soil. Roots don't grow deep because they never have to search for moisture. Plants become dependent on surface irrigation and produce smaller fruits and weaker stems. Even raised beds, which are often praised for preventing compaction, can actually make this issue worse. Soil in raised beds tends to dry out faster, which encourages gardeners to water more often, and that creates a cycle of nutrient leaching, root stress, and honestly wasted water. Over time, the soil structure declines and plant growth slows down despite all your effort. The system, which was used historically in arid regions of Europe and the Middle East, relies on creating deep, layered mounds that mimic natural soil ecosystems. These layers include coarse carbon material, like straw or small branches, green matter such as composted kitchen scraps or fresh plant material, and then mineral-rich topsoil. The layers work together to create a self-regulating environment. Water is captured from rainfall, dew, and condensation, microbes break down nutrients, and plant roots can grow deep without being disturbed. I first tried this in my backyard with tomatoes, peppers, and squash. I replaced 3 traditional raised beds with layered mounds. Within just a few weeks, the plants developed thicker stems, deeper roots, and even earlier flowering. By the end of the season, yields were roughly 3 times higher than the raised beds, and honestly, I didn't need to water once after the system had settled. Not every patch of soil is suitable for a layered, no-water system. The soil, well, it really needs to be biologically active and able to retain some moisture. That's why I always start by checking conditions with the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter, digital plant temperature and soil moisture test, pH meter, and sunlight intensity tool. It just takes a few seconds to measure moisture, pH, and temperature, and honestly, it prevents a lot of common mistakes. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description just in case you want to check it out. Knowing your soil's baseline is essential because if you layer on dead or heavily compacted soil, roots will struggle and the system just won't self-sustain. Start by marking out a mound area. I recommend 4 to 6 feet long and 2 to 3 feet wide for a backyard trial. Begin with a base layer of coarse carbon material like straw, small branches, or dry leaves. This provides aeration, drainage, and space for roots to penetrate deeply. Next, add a layer of green matter, grass clippings, weeds, or composted kitchen scraps. Then, top with compost and nutrient-rich topsoil. Repeat until the mound reaches 18 to 24 inches in height. The layering allows water to penetrate and stay trapped naturally. Microbial activity converts organic matter into nutrients over time, feeding plants continuously. Unlike raised beds, this system doesn't require constant watering because the soil itself acts like a sponge. There are three main reasons: deep root access, nutrient availability, and stable moisture. Roots aren't confined to 12 to 18 inches. They can explore the entire mound and reach down to undisturbed soil beneath. Microbes in the compost layers break down organic matter, releasing nutrients exactly when plants need them. And the soil's sponge-like structure keeps moisture consistent without artificial watering. I've noticed, some pretty dramatic differences in tomatoes and peppers. Flowering happens earlier, the stems are noticeably thicker, and the fruit clusters are just heavier overall. Even root crops like carrots and beets, they tend to grow longer and more robust because they can reach those deep, nutrient-rich soil layers. Now, you can actually adapt this technique for containers by following the same layering principle. Start with a coarse drainage layer, then alternate green and brown layers, and finish up with some good topsoil. For deep-rooted vegetables, it's best to use taller containers. And even if you only have a small space, these layered containers really do a better job of retaining water and nutrients than your typical pots. I keep an eye on moisture and pH using the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter, digital plant temperature, soil moisture test, pH meter, and sunlight intensity to make sure the system stays balanced. The main reason is practical land regulations and irrigation laws often prevent unregulated mound systems on public or agricultural lands. Authorities historically viewed large, unwatered mounds as a potential fire hazard or a non-standard cultivation method. That doesn't mean it's unsafe, in fact it's highly efficient. But it explains why most modern gardeners never hear about it. Use untreated organic matter. No chemically treated yard waste. Rotate crops to avoid nutrient depletion. Check soil conditions before building the mound. Once established, minimal watering is needed, but occasional monitoring ensures roots stay healthy. Even after heavy rainfall, the system absorbs and distributes water efficiently, preventing both drought stress and waterlogging. This system shows that more intervention isn't always better. Modern gardening emphasizes efficiency and control raised beds, drip irrigation, and synthetic fertilizers, but plants evolved in layered, biologically active soil systems. By supporting soil biology, nutrient cycling, and natural moisture retention, we can grow stronger, more productive gardens with far less effort. The 800-year-old system teaches us that nature knows best, and understanding how soil, microbes, and plant roots interact is more powerful than any raised bed or watering schedule. If you try this, start with one mound in your garden to compare against your raised beds. Track growth, root depth, and fruit production. Once you see the difference, it's hard to go back to traditional methods. For gardeners serious about maximizing yields, improving soil health, and experimenting with historic, effective methods, subscribe to the FamLogic channel. Share this video with another gardener who wants bigger harvests with less work. Because at the end of the day, the key to incredible gardens isn't more water or fancy beds. It's understanding how soil and plants truly work together.